welcome back to the Full Fledged Podcast. Tanner, it's been like 2 months since you've been on.
Hell yeah.
Welcome back, brother.
Thanks. Good to be back.
I don't even know what episode number we're on. I have like two or three episodes in the magazine, one in the chamber, ready to
Oof.
be blasted out there, so I don't even know what episode number this one's going to be. So the listeners will be as surprised as I will on what number this one is.
Nice.
Yeah.
69.
No, no, we're not that far. We're
Oh,
getting
no.
close to 20. I think we're in the 20s by this point, so that's fun.
Crazy.
Yeah. So when this one comes out, the episode before this, it'll be Brooks and I talking New Year's resolutions in the hunting world, not in life. And
What? Oh, you didn't do one for life? That's kind of lame.
well, nobody cares about our real life. We care about what are we doing with full fletch and hunting.
I care about it.
Oh, well, that's so kind of you. So if you need some time to think about it, put it on the back burner and we can maybe come back to it. But do you have a hunting, fishing, outdoors New Year's resolution?
I mean, do I get to say that I want to spend more time on my boat?
Hey. Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think this year will be a little different than last summer. For me, kind of, this last summer was like I was doing a balancing act with a new relationship and spending time with the lady and outdoors. So I think her and I are very aligned with a lot of our interests and things we like to do. And I think her and I are going to spend a lot of time on the water. And I think you and I are probably going to spend a lot of time on the water. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, get some fishing in. That'll be fun.
Yeah. And I
Go test
think,
out new parts of the lake.
yeah, that's the one thing I want to like right now. I don't really want to push the limits or something in dog shit weather.
Hmm.
I'd rather do it when it's warm outside.
Yeah. As we're recording on Sunday, the 5th of January, 2025, uh, yeah, pretty much most of the country is in winter hell of like the whole state of Kansas is shut down. Uh, my wife's mom was sending us updates. Even my mom was like, "Oh my gosh, you guys just missed the storm by a week and a half," but whatever. Yeah, so like all the highways in Kansas are shut down. I-70, all even all like the small ones. So
Yeah, I guess Kansas City and even parts of Missouri are getting like the storm of the century.
yeah, like they've got like inches of ice with inches of snow on top of it. So it's like
Yeah, that was us last year.
rough. Yeah, rough, rough. Right now, I mean, we're kind of fortunate. Who knows what it could turn into? It could get really cold. We've had a ton of rain today, just like
Yeah,
almost constant rain. It's not been like a downpour really, but it's just been constant rain. And we're supposed to get low temps over the next couple days.
snow possibly Friday.
It could get interesting around here in the old Nashville area.
Yeah, I guess. I
But yeah,
hope.
anyway, speaking of bad weather, yeah, we're not gonna push the limits on exploring the lake during the winter months.
Yeah,
No sense in that.
we almost got ran over the other day by a couple of dumbasses. That I mean, it was cold out and they were hauling ass, and it we didn't like catch them by surprise or anything. They just weren't really paying attention. I'm sure they were hunkered down, bundled up, not looking at what was
Yeah,
in front of them. It was kind of unsaid that we were both like, "Oh shit!" And we saw because
yeah,
I didn't have my motor on it yet, so we were just paddling along, and yeah, it was a little clinch
yeah,
moment. But all right, we're still here to tell the tale.
yeah. Tell us a little bit more about the boat. This is the first time the listeners have heard about it. I teased it in the last episode of Tanner has a surprise, and so I
All
didn't I
right,
didn't spoil it. I wanted it to be from the horse's ass or horse's mouth.
same thing. It's a Pelican Bass Raider. It's a little 10 foot like pontoon. It's made for bass fishing, but we plan to use it for duck hunting. Maybe not this year, but next. I mean, if we really want to, we could, but I don't even know if I'll have the chance after this next weekend. But we could. if we really want to. But it's a 10-foot boat. It fits in the bed of my pickup, which is nice. Just throw a couple straps on it. It's got two swivel seats on it that are 360-degree swivels, which is nice. It's got a transom in the front and back, so you can technically it'll hold a 3.5 horse motor on it, and I mean maybe that'll be in the future if we want to get around quickly, but it just eats up a lot of weight. But it is a 600-pound capacity, so comfortably fit you and me and the motor and some gear. But yeah, I got a 55-pound thrust trolling motor with a battery from Amazon. So it's kind of a budget boat, but it's brand new. It's in good shape, and I got everything. The boat itself was like 800 bucks, so it's not nothing to break the bank, and it's enough for what we need for right now. But we can tug a little your sled along with gear in it perfectly, I think, and leave enough for us and little burger butt in the boat. In the boat, she sits still, which I think she will. I think she'll be fine. I really do.
Yeah, especially with that collar on. I think the last time she was on a boat of any type, it was up in Wyoming, and I wasn't even there. My parents took her out on their boat fishing a couple times over the summer while I was recruiting or whatever. I forget. They had her for a couple of different reasons throughout her life. So one of the last times they had her out on the boat, whatever, and there were ducks swimming out like 100 yards away, and she saw them and jumped off the boat
Jump.
as they're fishing, and they're like trying. So they weren't like jigging or anything, like they were trolling, and so like they were moving, and Virgo goes, and so
See ya.
they got four lines out, and they got to get all the lines back in and get the damn dog wrangled in, and so she didn't have the buzz on at that point, the e-collar. She wasn't really trained on the e-collar yet. So now that we've got the e-collar, I can just give her a little beep beep,
Yeah. She's
stop what
good.
you're
I
doing.
mean, yeah, she really is. Like she listens very well, and even she's really not like she doesn't go far, and
No.
it's like even like she responds well to me too. It's like obviously I'm not her handler, but like if I'm in front and she's getting like to a little far, like I'll just give her a little whistle, and she's like comes back. She's like, "Did you need something?" And then she does it again. She was really good this morning. We went duck hunting this morning and killed approximately 0 ducks. It was rainy. We kind of figured we weren't going to be up, and it was either going to be they were going to be flying all over the place or they weren't going to be moving, and they really weren't moving. We had a couple. We had what like we had two kind of surprise us that we were kind of threw a Hail Mary at, and then a couple more. I think it was a solo that wanted to work us, and then he did. But everything else we saw, it was like a solo, a double, or a group of like five.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
I think we go ahead.
it's just that time of migration where they've broken up their big flocks and they're down to their pairs and small groups. And, if you find an odd number, it's likely that group went and got hunted within the last couple days and they lost one of their comrades.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a big spread, and we threw out a big spread today because it was like I told Tanner and Bryant in our little group text of like we were putting together a game plan. It was like this is the last big spread of the year because this could be the last time we get migrators that come through on this in this cold front, and so it's like a fingers crossed maybe that's what's going to happen, and they see a big spread and they want to work it. And
Mhm.
I mean, it's not too much work. It's only 2 dozen decoys. Like, there's people like that's a small spread compared to what a lot of other people do. But for us, that's a big spread, and so like now it's going to be like less
A
a dozen or
dozen.
less.
Yeah.
Yeah, mallards only maybe, and like only three on a jerk rig.
I saw a
Yeah,
bunch tonight when we were driving home from Murfreesboro
yeah.
earlier. I saw we were actually walking around down there, and there were like 12 of them that flew over our head. I was like, "Oh wow." And then we were driving home, and there's another group on 840. there's another group that was, I don't know, probably 15 thick. So they were moving after the rain quit, but I don't know. Hopefully we get some weather on Friday and Saturday morning will be a little ducky action. We'll see if we can get out, but
Yeah, that'd be nice.
it's fun. It's duck hunting is like something I never really did growing up. Justin was a fowl hunter, and I never really hunted ducks a whole lot. I'd been teal hunting once in Kansas, and that was exciting because they're fast and
Right.
like it's just really high paced. But like I've never really duck hunted like this before, so
Yeah.
it's fun
Yeah,
to
it's fun. There's kind of a science to it, and trying to figure it out is always fun.
yeah. There's the duck commander boys were saying Phil and Jace were like they're like every good duck hunter has a can of black spray paint with them, and I was like, what? They're like if it's shiny, spray it. And then they end the video with they've got their Yeti cup and they're spray painting it black. Like you guys are nuts.
Yeah, no shiny.
They
That was
love the
like one of the
duck.
first things Bryant, because he had never, not even once, been out duck hunting. And so when he first came out, it was like, I don't know anything. Tell me what I need to know. And I was like, this, that, and the other thing. And I said, and wear camo only, no bright colors, like no orange, no white, like you want to
Yeah.
be dark and blended in. And he said, okay. But yeah, like I mean, you never know, just the slightest thing. Like if you eat food in your blind and it's like a candy wrapper and you got that like silver shiny foil or whatever and it's
Hmm.
flipped out and if they catch a glimpse of it, like if your blind doesn't cover it very well, that's something that can flare them. It's crazy. Like they're
Yeah.
very finicky.
Yeah. It's really fun to watch them fly around because they're such a different species where it's like dove are either flying or they're not. Like pheasants, they're running on the ground and they're gonna
They're either
fly
in the
up when
field or
they're
they're not. Yeah.
yeah. And ducks, it's like they're coming like out of nowhere, and they're really cool to watch work a spread and work where they want to land. They're so picky that they'll circle a spot 4 times before they even kind of commit to it.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
fun to watch.
that first pair this morning, like they were coming in to land and they may have, I think they might have been giving us like a half-ass landing, and then they were gonna circle back and try again. But they were close enough, and the way they did the flutter and buckle and come down, I was like, that's their one go at it. They're not coming
Yeah,
back. I didn't think so, but you
I
never
didn't.
know
Yeah,
because I mean, if you watch them just like while you're scouting and you're not trying to hunt them and you're just sitting still, like they'll do that. They'll like buckle, they'll do the whole thing, and then they'll flare, come back and try it again just because something wasn't right about the landing process. And so they could have been doing it, but I didn't think so.
yeah. I mean, all I saw was I saw a muzzle flash right here when we stood up, and I was like,
Bang.
"Cling!" Yeah,
Yeah, so we whiffed, and then the other birds never, they didn't work us hard enough, and they went and landed somewhere else. So, but yeah, it's been fun. Hopefully this weather coming in brings in some good birds, and next weekend we
yeah.
can have a good go at it.
Hopefully, we get some birds pushed down too and moving with this storm because I know Kentucky and like north of Kentucky's right now is getting hammered with snow. Like all the snow went into Kentucky and we're getting the rain because it's
Hmm.
still warm. I mean, shit, it's supposed to be like 53 degrees tonight at 10 o'clock. So deer
Well,
season is
look,
over with today.
yeah, last day of deer season. It's over. It's gone. No more. Well, there's youth
Yeah,
season, but we
yeah,
are not youthful enough for youth season.
yeah. Willow, you got thumbs? Oh, she's dead. She don't give a fuck. She don't care.
Yeah,
She's busy.
so no more deer. We each got one. That was it. I tried yesterday. I was thinking about going out today, but then I saw thunderstorms in the forecast and I said, I really don't want to die on the last day of deer season
Yeah,
over who knows what. It
yeah.
could just be a doe and saying it's not worth it today of all
No,
days. It's
no.
never worth it, but of all days, today is not the day. So,
Yeah. Yep, we're tired. We're cold.
yeah. Oh man, I got home and Caitlin decided to cook up some breakfast and it was like a big old thing of breakfast, but before she even got done cooking. Like I came in, got kind of changed, more comfortable. I had like 10 layers on. I took all my layers off and I went and sat on the couch waiting for she was almost done, I think. And I like sat down on the couch with Samson. He came like snuggled up on me. I like leaned over on him. I wasn't even reclined yet, and I fell asleep. And I was
Yeah,
out, and I woke myself up snoring. Oh, man, it was bad. I was like, I am tired. And so
yeah,
we ate, and it was like big. Like I've never had this much food at breakfast, and like I just destroyed it.
destroyed it. Emily made biscuits and gravy, and
Yeah,
we got down.
yeah. Then we uh we made Mexican pulled pork,
How
meat
was it?
church recipe. Oh, it was pretty dang good. It's I don't know if it's my favorite pulled pork, but it was dang good. It's gonna make really good like pulled pork tacos. I think I'm gonna throw together like a pulled pork breakfast something or another with it
Yeah,
tomorrow. It'll be really good. So,
good
but it
idea.
was good. We just did sandwiches with it tonight. Anyways, I had to get that put on the smoker. As soon as I put it on the smoker, I set a timer with our Alexa or whatever, and it's like set a timer for 4.5 hours. And then she's like, timer set, and I went, sat on the couch, reclined it, put on a YouTube video. I made it 2 seconds, and I was out.
Yeah, you texted me back at like 1:30. I was like, this motherfucker's been asleep the whole time.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's about when the I then like 20 minutes after that, the alarm went off for the pork. I was like, dang, that's rough. I was a sleepy boy, so
yeah. I don't blame you. I was tired this morning too.
it's been kind of a grinding winter for hunting. I mean, more I guess more for me. You've done your fair bit of like early mornings though, for sure, and especially lately with duck. So,
Deer season, it was like I hunted mornings really early, and I was just like, I'm just so worn out from work right now that I just like I'll go hunt in the afternoon.
yep. That was what I told Brooks my resolution was for next year is, maybe not so go so hard at work and give myself the opportunity come the rut of next year to do like a couple full day sits and then
Yeah,
not feel like, oh my gosh, I've been just going hard. Because like I was putting myself into overtime like almost every week I could at work.
yeah.
And then
Which is
like
good.
during
It's good for you though.
yeah, well, and it's money, and like that's
Yeah,
what else are you gonna do?
yeah,
Like you can't. I mean, I can go hunt, but it's like no. So made money, and that it's worth it for that and whatever. But it's like yeah, come next year, next deer season. My goal is to have a couple of full day sits during the
yeah.
rut.
Nice.
So that's one I want to do.
Yeah. It's hard. And like you know this, but it's just like even this morning, like yesterday when Brian and I went by ourselves, I was like, I'm just gonna give him the silent treatment. Like I'm not like these. We got birds working. Like I'm just not gonna throw anything at them because I'm still pretty new to calling. But I was like, I'm not gonna do anything. And then they would circle and then they'd kind of like act like they were gonna flutter off and like they would start working back and I would just give them a little bit and then they'd be gone. I was like, I just can't like sit still.
Can't
So this
win.
morning I said, give me the string, and I was just pulling the jerk rig.
Yeah,
I said, my calls are staying in the bag, but I need to do something.
yeah. Tanner's on jerk rig duty.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
No, it's
My hunting goal is to get better at calling, whether it's turkey, ducks,
yeah. I need
and
to get back on my turkey game. Give myself like 3 months of practice. Get
that
that
was nice
diaphragm
this
call
morning.
going again.
That was nice this morning to see all those turkeys fly down out of the
Yeah,
tree. That was pretty cool.
yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen birds fly out of a roost before.
I get to see it at work, so I'm kind
Yeah,
of spoiled for that because I mean we have like hundreds of turkey at work, and I get to see them come out of roost. Not every day, but fairly
most
often.
days.
So, but
Yeah.
yeah, that was hilarious this morning. You're like group of teal, big group of teal. Those aren't teal. What are those?
I said, "Are those vultures?" You're like, "Those are turkey." And I was like, "Oh, well, my glasses were completely covered in water, so I was
Yeah,
like, I saw a flash. I thought it was a teal belly, and I was like, "Wait a minute."
right.
I had to do the squints thing. Yeah,
Yeah, so I was like, nope, those are turkey. Well, then I had my binoculars and got up and counted. And just the first wave, because there was like multiple waves of turkeys that came down out of the roost. That
Hmm.
first wave was like a dozen, and then it was like next thing you know, there were like six more, and then you look up and it looked like that whole shoreline was like pretty much covered with turkey. It's like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
little taking notes here. Get out the notepad.
yeah. We knew that there were turkeys there. We didn't really know
Hmm.
where, but
In that
last
general
year,
area, we knew for sure, but
yeah, it was literally like this same exact week last year. Like when we duck hunted over there for the first time last year when I think we were scouting, we were driving out, we saw those hens down by the road, and we were like, well, we know we're turkey hunting this year.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it's like almost the same exact week that that happened because we got the
yeah,
snow almost the same time we got all that rain today.
right.
But
Yeah, we're gonna have to do a little dive on turkey hunting strategies. Maybe we can. I don't know. Well, maybe we see if Bryant can educate us a little bit on a podcast,
he's a whisperer.
or we'll have to do a a broad search, throw it out to the interwebs. If you are a self-proclaimed turkey expert and want to hop on a podcast and teach us about turkeys,
Michael Waddell?
hey, Waddy,
Hey, come
full
on, dog.
fledged,
Hey, we saw you in WTF last year.
yeah, in passing, in
Yeah, we,
passing.
we didn't say hi. We were just like, hey, look, it's Michael Waddell.
His episode with Joe Rogan was pretty good.
Didn't listen to it.
I mean, there was nothing like groundbreaking. It was more just like, hey man, you're cool. Come on the podcast. And he went on, and yeah, I mean, I feel like Joe Rogan's like you're either breaking ground on something, like blowing up the world with some like idea, or you're just there to like chill.
You're just
And
like
this was like,
a cool dude or
yeah,
cool person.
this was just a chill episode. So
Yeah. He's a large fella. I will say that.
who's that?
Michael Waddell.
Oh yeah,
Walked by him and I was like, oh, guy's like 6'5". It's surprising. Yeah. Turkey hunt. Yeah, I was thinking about it a couple of weeks ago when I drove over there. I think it was when you and I drove over there. That bottom by the road that we were we were extremely upset that we were walking through this morning. I think we should have. Uh, looking back, I think we should have set up down there like opening morning because it was nice and open.
for
Turkey. Like
uh
when we were down there turkey season, I think we should have set up down there with the decoy, but it's all right. I
yeah,
think
well,
it's a
next
good
year
strategy for
or
this
this
year.
season,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, so yeah, I was a little upset this morning. We decided to throw all of our stuff into the sled, which I like doing the sled, but the sled can become like the biggest pain in the ass if you find yourself in mud or like something, I don't know, like going over rocks is fine, but mud is the worst, and if you're going uphill, it's just never fun anyways. But we're walking and we're going down a trail, and Tanner's like, all right, let's go over here, and then we got to go this way. I'm like, okay, cool, that's fine. So we hop over and then we start walking and then it opens up. I'm like, open, sweet, let's go. And then it's just like sink down like 2 inches, sink down like 4 inches. I'm like, this is mud.
You said, "Why are we walking in the mud?" I said, "I don't know. We gotta go." I said, "Come on, just don't stop moving. Nothing you can do about it now."
Like I was cruising, I was going, and then he's like, yeah, we got to turn. Let's go here. I'm like, okay, cool. We're still cruising, and then all of a sudden it just like stopped. I was like,
Yeah, hit
this
the
sucks.
brakes.
Why did we
Yeah,
take a detour through the mud?
yeah. It was early and we were a little grumpy, and I was like, "We just gotta keep." I said, "I don't know what to tell you. We gotta go." You want decoys splashing in 15 minutes? I ain't got time for this shit.
Man,
But yeah, it was fine. We survived. But in my defense, it was frozen when we walked on it yesterday, so I figured it was cold last night, so I thought it might be a little muddy or frozen this morning. No, it was not.
mud. That's all right.
We
Gave me
lived.
a good workout.
Yep,
Wore
me
me out.
too.
Made me
Yeah,
take a good nap.
I let you handle all the business going downhill. Going up, I was like, God, why didn't I let Bryant help you with this shit?
Yeah, Hey, Brian, come take over.
Yeah, that's okay. He was
He helped on the way
he's
out.
he's making sure nothing fell out.
Well, we kind of
Yeah,
had a half-ass idea of what we wanted to talk on this podcast about, and it's
yeah.
kind of a good little shoot in the bowl podcast. But
It's been a
we
while.
talked about it today in the blind. You have left all or just one of the Facebook deer hunting groups of Tennessee.
I don't know. I think I was only in two. If there's
Okay.
another one, I'm sure once I come across it, I'll be out of that one as well.
Yeah,
But
Tanner is out on the
yeah. See
Facebook
ya. See
deer
ya.
hunting
See ya,
groups.
idiots. Yeah, yeah. You're gonna miss me. Now, I mean, it is what it is, and I mean, I don't get on Facebook a lot. I really don't. But when I
Yeah.
do, the only thing I see is like these people. It's the same shit over and over again, talking about like, is this good blood? Is my hunt over? What do y'all think he scores? How old is this guy? Blah blah blipty fucking blah. And it's like, ugh. I I just don't understand why like grown men that are 40 years old need validation from other 40-year-old men about the deer they shot or what this deer is and la la la. Which I should probably just delete my Facebook all in all, but I have family that I don't see very often that I guess I could kind of keep up with. So that's really the only reason I keep it and to
Yeah.
get mad about people talking about their deer.
Right.
So, but yeah, one of them was, it's a pretty large group actually. There's like 80,000 people in it. Um, Tennessee Deer Hunters one. But
Yeah.
I was tired of it. It's the same thing over and over again,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Yeah, it's almost like one out of every like 20 posts is worthwhile of maybe something you can learn from or I don't know. You can get something out of at least one post like out of every 20 posts. But like you said the rest are like the same thing on repeat of can anybody help me identify like what kind is this good blood? Like what about this? Anybody have any place for me to hunt? It's like
it's just a
okay,
cheap way of like not learning on your own.
yeah. It's
Also,
like can can anybody find me a deer to kill so I can have meat in the freezer? It's like what did you do all season?
yeah. And you know what's crazy too is like when people ask these questions, it's like you can probably figure out your own answer, or you're never going to know the answer, and then you're going to ask a bunch of people, and you're going to get six different answers, and you're still not going to know what the answer is. So, like, why waste your time just instead of doing it on your own? So yeah, I mean, I said smell you later to both of them. It is what it is. I'm not going to be missed by any means, and I will not miss seeing it. So
Yeah, it's not like you were, when you're on there and you read the comments or whatever, read a post and it's like next to their name it says like top contributor or whatever. Like
yeah,
those dudes,
all star contributor is
yeah,
like
it's like
rising star. I'm like,
yeah,
how the fuck is this guy? Like, what is he
it's like
doing?
these
Commenting on
dudes
every
live
post?
for commenting on these posts.
Yeah, yeah,
They live for those groups.
they do.
But
It is what it is. But yeah,
yeah, I get a little entertainment factor out of the the other popular one is people asking about rules and regulations of being
yeah.
like can
Ugh,
I hunt this? Like, is how many deer do I get in this area and this, and when can I shoot and when can, like this, that, and the other thing. And then I go to the comments, be like, okay, what did people say? I always like the one where it's like I'll click like on somebody's comment that says, read the rule book. It's
yeah,
like
literally.
that's just
Somebody
read it.
one of the last ones I saw, somebody posted in all caps, read the rules and regulations and
Yeah,
five exclamation points.
yeah,
It's not that hard. Like there's literally if you get the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency app, there is a literal like tab for season summary. You click it and it takes you to the link of every like species you can hunt in Tennessee and what the season is for it and what the special regulations are.
yeah,
Now,
yeah.
ducks
So
is a little finicky,
right.
but
I just love getting on there and seeing the comments because then there's some people that are like, "Oh no, you can shoot 5 bucks this year," and it's like, is it for you? The one I read yesterday was like, so it says deer season ends on the 5th. does that mean I can hunt the fifth or not? And then they're like, oh no, it doesn't matter. You can shoot deer all the way through next week. And it's like, I wonder how many people actually take it seriously, but it's like, oh man,
Like,
guys,
imagine
read the
if
rules.
this was 20 years ago and Facebook wasn't around. These guys would be fucked because it's like they can't go to Facebook and ask 80,000 people what the rules are. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but
then the other thing is like, I mentioned it in a much earlier podcast. It's like, I've been on a few of them. I'm still on them. I'm probably still going to stay on them just because like it doesn't bother me any. Usually I just kind of skip through and it's not like I like to look at the pictures of people posting their deer and it's like, oh, sweet, Tennessee's got some good looking deer coming out this year or whatever. But like there was one guy and I was like, is this not the same post? He posted like four different times, like a couple weeks apart. It's like several different times of like I'm in this area and then it was in a different area. And he's like, anybody got a dog? I had a bad hit on a deer, and it's like he posted like four or five times, and it's like, dude, you are like not good at shooting or something. Like, what is also you're either not good at shooting or you're not good at tracking blood,
or
and or both.
lazy.
Yeah, and it's like, but then like some of them that I got on there and looked at, like finally I like clicked on because when you're in those pages, like you can see just the posts that they've posted to that page, and it was literally just him asking for people to help track blood, and it's like, oh my gosh, dude, like that's all you've posted about, and I then he posted a video of him shooting like a deer or something like that, and like it hit it like in the neck with a bow. I'm like,
A lot of people do that. I've noticed
what are
that
we doing?
a lot of people here will shoot. Well, and I know that this is a crazy topic that I don't think we should get into, but like a lot of people headshot, like when they shoot a doe, they'll shoot a doe in the head, which I think is crazy town,
Right.
USA. But also, like a lot of people neck shot deer too, which I think is crazy too.
Yeah, I saw a couple posts of people having. I was like, there's no blood on the shoulder, and then I like look up, and it's like right there in the neck. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, good for you. That's a good shot, and you don't lose any meat. I get it, but
But they're
dang,
like,
yeah, yeah, for sure. But
but I
yeah,
don't know,
I got
really
on
not.
there, and it was like, dude, like you're just like that's what drove me nuts was getting on and just seeing like
Yeah.
poor ethics in hunting, and it's like,
Repeat offenders.
yeah, like come on, man, like you just gotta try to be better a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's the only thing that's really bugged me about those groups is those two things. People just like being bad and not caring that they're bad and not reading rules and regulations and asking Facebook groups for what the rules and regulations are. Those are my two complaints about the Facebook groups. Other than that, I like looking at the deer that people post and
so
there's
you don't
some
like
cool stories that
laziness.
occasionally come out.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool to see like little Timmy is 13 years old and he just shot a fucking monster. I'm like, yeah, nice job. That's pretty
Yeah,
cool. But
yeah, that's awesome.
like some guys are like, I've been hunting deer for, excuse me, been hunting deer for like 35 years, and they're like, this is my first buck ever, which I think is also crazy. Which, good for them. Which I guess that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, but then I mean, and then it goes into it's not something that like drives me nuts, but it happens a lot in those groups. And is another topic we wanted to talk about is scoring deer and people asking what would this deer score? And it's like, what's the matter?
Or what do
Like
you think he
people,
scored?
yeah, Pete one. Well, one is people posting trail cam pictures and being like, what do you think he'll score? And then it's like, what does it matter? And then two, the other one is like when people have actually gotten it, and it's like, what's your best guess on what he scores and blah, blah, blah. So it's like you get two different sides of it. You get they've killed the deer and they're looking for like bragging rights of, yep, look at how big this deer is, and that's my third one over 120 in the last 3 years or whatever. And so
But
they have
both
like,
are boastful though, because it's like, look at these deer I have on my property.
yeah,
Check it
right.
out. Like, you think this? How old do you think he is? Think he's going to be a 180-inch deer next year?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. The trail camera picture ones, it's like, okay, like what does it matter if he's 140 or 130 on people's opinion? Would I always go back to, would it make you happy shooting that buck? Yes
literally,
or no? Like, would you be happy with yourself if you shot that deer? Yes or no? No? Okay, then don't shoot it. If you're happy because it's a nice looking buck or whatever, shoot it. But then people care way too much about what others think of them and their ability to hunt. And it's just like,
yeah,
come
which
on,
is
man.
crazy. It's like this. This it's not really what you should be doing it for.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, you're gonna get it anyway. But it's like you also see a lot of like this is why we as hunters get a bad rap because of shit like this, and like you do see stuff like that on those pages.
Right.
But
For sure.
yeah, it's
Well,
also
it changes, it shifts the mentality of, you know, we hunt originally, we've hunted deer. I'm not trying to give like the history of deer hunting because I don't know it, but it's like you hunt deer to, one, feed yourselves, and two, control the population. Like that's when it comes down to it, that's all it's about. It's not about anything else. And now it's really turning into, people care so much about the score of a buck where they are just flat out ignoring the doe population and other and general herd population. And they're like, don't get me wrong, there's people that manage their properties really well, and those people do care about those things, and there's a reason they have big bucks on their properties. But then there's people who are like, well, I'm only taking a deer if he's 130 plus. And it's like, okay, but you have 200 deer on your property.
yeah.
The gene pool is fucked because like it's just, you have
You
too
have
many
you
deer.
have a bunch of deer running around that are 70-inch deer, and it's like you're allowing them to spread their shitty genetics, and you're like, well, I'm putting out corn, and I got these food plots, and I just can't grow them here. It's like, yeah, well,
You have 50 does sitting in your field right now that need to be like, I don't, again, I'm not a biologist, but like that's too many depending on your
yeah,
size of your property. But if they're all consolidated into like a smaller area, and you got just 50 does just hanging around, that's where you got a problem. You got to start taking things out. And but yeah, I mean, it boils down to, people care so much about how many inches worth of antler is coming out, and like for some people, that's all they want to do, and that's fine. Like they pay to go hunt these places and like get on leases so that they can shoot their big buck. But like there's a lot of hunting clubs or leases or whatever where like they have
yeah,
rules set up of, yeah, you can shoot your 140 plus buck, but you have to shoot two does before you shoot a buck, before you shoot
yeah.
that buck. And that's great. Like I think that's the way it should be. I think I told Tanner kind of, or Tanner, I told Brooks that was part of like my maybe grand plan of population management is, you know, you kind of have to do almost an earn a buck type situation in some of these
Yeah.
areas around us. Is like you got to shoot your two does before you can get a buck,
I
because
think Middle Tennessee should
otherwise you're just
absolutely be
getting too
that
many
way.
deer.
Yeah, I think Middle Tennessee should be that way for sure. Like there are so many deer out here. It's like it's almost unbelievable. Like how many like there's a neighbor or there's a field near where I lived where I sent you those 2 bucks yesterday. There are without question 30 does or more in that field every time I drive by. Like it does not matter what time of day it is. Like they are there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there needs to be like a earn a buck slash reward type system. I know I've talked about it, so I'm not gonna completely hash it all out again, but like I think that's the only way that you're gonna get people to truly buy into harvesting more deer. Have some sort of system where, okay, if you don't want the meat from that doe, donate it and you get some sort of return on it. You
Yeah.
get a discount on your tag for next year. You get a preference point for a unit in a draw unit or a quota unit or something like that. Like get some sort of incentive out of helping control the deer population because the way it's going right now, people are just like, well, I only shoot my 2 bucks because I want one big buck in archery and one big buck at gun season, and that's it.
Yeah,
Man, everything else is getting screwed up because like don't and I'll go back to we have big deer in Tennessee, but it's and I've heard it's gotten better. Obviously, I've only been here for 2 deer seasons now, but it's like you want to have big deer. Having tons of deer isn't the way to have big deer.
yeah. Well, and also I think, I mean, like what conservation is, but also the TWRA is like they ask the biologists are like how many think they should get a day? Like a day? Like yeah, a day. Like give them 5 a day if they want. Like they can shoot three does and 2 bucks in a day if they really like wanted to. And then if they do that, they can have a third buck tag. It's like that's crazy, but I don't know. I think it's a stretch, but I like. I'm sure the numbers are good. I'm sure the amount of does there are matters and the genetics. Blah blah blah. I took biology in high school. That's about all my knowledge. But
So
yeah, it's
this has
crazy. I
got me
mean, I
now
think it's crazy.
thinking we talked about it last year because, Tennessee has their reporting system, but they make it like public knowledge and it's like a running tally. And I don't know if every state does it that way or if I feel like most states wait until like the end of season and be like, this is what happened. But you can watch as you go. And like last year, we kind of paid a lot more attention to it of like, oh, this area, like this management area, this county, like they're getting more deer. And it's like, okay, yeah, they're killing more deer. And then I think you had made mention of it's like, well, they killed less deer this year than last year, and like the population's not good. And I'm wondering now, after like kind of digging in a little bit, like if the population is actually much bigger from the year past or year prior, and people just aren't killing the does that they used to. I would be curious to go back and look at the number of does harvested comparative year to year.
I think people are shooting deer. I can't remember what it was. The you're talking about is I was looking because I was thinking about going down south with my rifle, and I was looking at the because you can divvy it up by county, and then you can divvy it up by like WMAs. And I was looking at the wildlife management area down there, and like from it was bow opener till the day before gun opener. So I think it was almost a week after rifle season opened. So it was like bow opener, and then it was bow opener mixed with shotgun, muzzleloader, and then I did those that day. So bow opener till rifle opener, centerfire rifle opener the day before, and it was like I think down there it was like 11 or maybe it was like 611 antlered deer taken
Hmm.
and like 200 does maybe or maybe it was 611 total, and the buck to doe ratio was I think it was like 66% to 70% buck ratio or buck to doe ratio. So it was crazy high, but also it was like 611 in between archery and the day before gun, and then less than it was 6 days of gun season, and there were almost the exact same amount of deer taken in one week. It was
Yeah,
crazy. I was like,
right.
"Nah, I ain't going down there, son."
Yeah, it's either target rich environment or who knows what the hell's going on.
Yeah,
Like
which I think, like
war
to
zone
your
down
point,
there. I've heard that is there's just so many. It's the Orange Army down there.
yeah, it is for sure because it's one of the only places in Middle Tennessee that you can hunt with a rifle. I think to your point, and I like a running tally. I think they do it on purpose to kind of. I think it's if people look, it'll deter hunters from one area to another. Maybe I don't know, give them some variety.
Yeah.
But also, I remember in Kansas. The second year I hunted deer out there, were requiring an E tag. So like you could either put your regular tag on it and E tag it, or you could E tag it.
Hmm.
Now, that's also to say not everybody was E tagging it because they weren't gonna track, but they also like Colorado, you fill out a survey at the end of the year and it was like you had this tag, did you harvest an animal? Yes. What unit was it? This one, male or female, blah blah. So it's very same, but like us, I don't even think they do paper tags in Tennessee anymore, like at all. Like
Yeah,
I would
I
rather,
haven't even I haven't seen like an option to click on the website when you're buying your licenses. Like I feel like in the past it was like, do you want a paper copy? Yes or no? No. And this is like other states. They don't even have that option, I don't think here.
no, they like, and even the water or the like, if you get a duck stamp
Hmm.
on the app, they don't mail it to you until after the season's over. It literally says like it will say federal e-stamp and then in parentheses, physical will be mailed postseason. It's like,
Yeah.
what? What? Like you used to
Right.
not be able to, like you used to have to have it in your wallet,
Hmm. Like
or like
signed and
or you
everything.
take
Yeah.
the literal stamp and put it on the back of your tag or your
Your license. Yeah.
license, and it was, I don't know, it's weird, but I think that's how they keep track is everybody e tags, and it just computer runs a, I'm sure it just runs straight into an Excel sheet and it just generates numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. They were running into issues of people were buying the hard copy and not signing it, and like they're passing it off, like you know, it like father son duo or whatever. They're like, hey, so we can save on that $25 duck stamp. Let's just buy one, and if we get caught, like, we're just gonna pass it back and forth. Like, and if we're together, then fingers crossed we don't get fucked on this whole deal.
Yeah.
But like we'll just pass it back and forth. If you're going duck hunting, you take the duck stamp. If I'm going duck hunting, I'll take the duck stamp. And if Johnny Law stops us, I forgot to sign it. I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. Like you got it in your possession, it's fine. And so you save $25 by doing it that way. Or if you got a group of four people, it's like, hey, we only got to do $25 one time, and just play it off like you forgot to sign it. And
How
now it's
nuts
like,
is
well,
that?
you either have it or you don't, and it's in your name or it's not, which
How,
is good. But yeah, it's all different. It's all electronic now.
how nuts is that though? You would rather save $25 and risk, if you get caught, it's like $120 fine. It's like, so now you're just gonna pay $100 more. There's a reason you pay for the tag. Like we pay for these tags and it goes to the conservation program, so it's supposed to help hunters. And it's like people do this shit, and especially here, they'll save a buck for anything. And then I walk around these boat ramps and like these parks, and there's fucking trash everywhere. And it's like, what are we paying these people for? You know? And it was like that spot that we drove by where all those deer carcasses were at.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know these fuckers drive by here and they like, we pay you guys to clean this up. And it's like it's a major, like it's a busy road by a neighborhood. People are gonna drive by and say, "Wow, these hunters really suck because there's five deer carcasses right here in trash bags on the side of the road."
Yeah. And
It drives me
even if
crazy.
it's not their job to clean it up, it's their job to enforce. It's called like wanton waste and littering, basically.
Yeah,
So, because if they're leaving carcasses that have any meat on them, that's wanton waste.
literally. And
And
but
so,
also like I don't think little Polly going to school one day, is 6 years old, and looks out the window and sees a dead deer. She's like, she's her day's ruined. You just ruined this little girl's day. I mean, she was just trying to go to freaking pick her nose and count and do her ABCs, and now her day's ruined.
right.
People, I mean, that was pretty wild, but you get the message. I'm over exaggerating.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But no, I think going back to it, the scoring thing, like, don't get me wrong, I want to shoot big deer, and if I shoot a big deer, I want to know what it scored. And I will be proud of that number if it's a big deer. My deer from Kansas, I mean, it's not a booner, it's not a big old buck. I don't know the score of it. It's a nice deer, but it's like,
What do you think the score is?
honestly, my guess would be like 110, 120, somewhere there.
Think, think
My Kansas buck,
yeah. I if I were to guess, I'd say probably like 130, maybe
mine
120.
or yours? I think yours is a little bit
Yours.
bigger than mine.
Yeah, I think mine's it'll be close to 140
Yeah, but
because he's got his whatever the first the first ones, the G ones, G2s are real long,
yeah,
and he's this deer. He's an old motherfucker. His antlers were white. I mean, if it wasn't gonna be me, he was gonna do it by himself. I mean,
yeah.
Jesus, the deer was 6,400 years old. He's 10 days older than God himself. But yeah, anyway,
But yeah, like if I shoot like a monster deer, by all means, I am getting that thing scored because I want to know how big was this deer. But until then, I don't care.
yeah, I mean,
There's a lot of people that do, but and I'm not trying to put myself above them because there's people that kill a lot of deer and they kill a lot of big deer, and I don't kill a lot of deer and I don't kill a lot of big deer. So good for them,
yeah,
but
not
like that's what they care about.
we will next year. I think we will next year.
We'll get us onto some deer. I think we found a couple more spots that are a little more fruitful.
Yeah, I think third time's a charm. I think the spot that you and I have been kind of interested in will be pretty pretty nice when it's archery only, if I were to
Yeah,
guess.
yep.
So
Because I
that's
think everybody I've seen in there has been gun hunters.
yeah. And you know what's
Those little
also
are
nice is we don't have to walk anymore.
just
So
that
that'd
boat
be
ramp
pretty
is real
sweet.
close.
Yeah, it's nice and it'll also be much more quiet getting it. We're not crunching leaves and
All the way through the
whatever.
whole forest.
Yeah, and yeah, that'll be nice. I mean, the tree that I was setting up in was about 20 feet from the shoreline.
Yeah,
So I'm dropping and going, son.
it's a short
And
walk.
but also the nice thing too is like if you're hauling out a deer on that boat, is it's close enough to make two trips. So if there's two guys in there, it's just be like, hey, I'll go drop you off at the pickup real quick, or I'll take the deer out first and then I'll come get you. Like no problems there. That's nice. That is the one thing that's nice about Middle Tennessee is like there's not a ton of difficult access. Like you're not walking 5 miles
Yeah,
to get to a place, which it may be nicer hunting that way, but I don't mind these shorter walks.
yeah,
So yeah, I don't know. Scoring deer, I don't really care about scoring deer. I really don't. Like I'm happy with the one that I have. I think it's a cool deer. He's interesting. He's old as hell and has a little scar on him. He's got half a face because he fell off the wall at one point. It was pretty cool. Never forget that. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Everybody's
yeah,
different. People are, I mean, it's just like waterfowl guys are obsessed with waterfowl. Deer guys are obsessed with deer and they like scoring deer. They like know how big their deer are. They also like to talk shit to their friends about how big their deer is. They like to tell people how big of a deer they shot. It's the same thing with
yeah.
turkey hunters.
Right. Yeah. Oh, my turkey's beard was longer than yours, and
Yeah.
mine was
My
double beard,
that
triple
see
beard.
that Tennessee deer hunters, those motherfuckers during turkey season. He got 10.5 inch beard and he got an inch and a half long spurs. That's what they care about. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
sick. Like what do you want to do? You want me to take the turkey I shot and turkey you shot and see which one wins in a cockfight or what?
Right. And I guess the last point on the Facebook groups, I'm in like some fishing groups too, like crappie and bass and like hybrids and stuff like that, just to try to
Yeah.
get some information. They're all the same.
All the same.
And I'm not saying that like I'm not surprised. I'm not saying that I'm surprised they're all the same, but like for those of you who are maybe only in one group and it's like, man, like this kind of sucks and I know exactly what they're talking about. The people I'm seeing in my groups are just like that. Maybe if I like my other hobbies, if I find a Facebook group with that, no, they're all the same. There's always going to be
Yeah.
somebody talking shit and people who don't know what the hell they're talking about, don't read the regulations or whatever. It's like they're all the same.
Yeah, it's
They're
just
all the
like
same.
it's for the gram. That's all it is. That's literally what it is. It's like this morning when we were putting face paint on. It's like if nothing, the picture's gonna look sick.
Hey, I will say face paint does help, but
Yeah, especially when you can't grow facial hair.
yeah, I have the advantage over you too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Brian's, I mean, he can grow facial hair. It's just blonde.
Yeah.
Me, I mean, what you
We
see
got to
is
get
what you
Bryant
get.
some Just for Men. We got to get you some Be a Man.
But
What? What?
come on,
Come on, man.
come on. That was fucking rude. Now I forgot what I was gonna say because I'm so flustered. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I do that to you sometimes.
No, no. You were on fire last week. You were talking shit to Brooks. It was funny. I was laughing. I was laughing. I said, "Thank God it's not me anymore." I was loving it. I was eating that shit up. I've been dealing with this shit for years.
I kind of feel bad now because he's kind of been going through the fucking the shit with the whole car accident and his
Yeah.
bow. There's a story, another part of his bow story now for the viewers and listeners.
Yeah. Hey, Brooks, what happened to your bow to begin with?
Yeah,
Why is it in the shop?
yeah. So, anyways, yeah, he's got another chapter of that saga to
Yeah,
cover with the
Wolf.
viewers and listeners, which, and then, so giving him grief, it's like, okay, I'm giving him grief, and we all know, not everybody, but those that are in the circle know, it's like, okay, it's gonna get done, but come on, man,
Yeah.
let's get,
Clock,
let's
clock's
get it over
ticking.
with. She was in the background, she like overheard, we were talking about New Year's resolutions. And she goes, "That's your only New Year's resolution, Brooks?" And he goes, "We're talking about hunting. We're talking about hunting, hunting only. There's other resolutions, I
Man,
swear."
man.
That's your
Give
only goal for the year, Brooks? And it was like something about like shoot a elk or something like that. And she's like, "That's your only goal this year?"
giving him the what for. Yeah, you
Yeah.
were giving him the what for the other day. It was pretty funny. I was laughing.
Yeah,
I was
he
laughing.
got the beans a little bit there.
Yeah.
I
He
gave him the
got
beans.
memed on. He got memed on, is what the kids say.
Man.
Shit.
Well, Tan man, it was a good episode there, fella.
It was. It was.
Appreciate you hopping back on again.
It's good to be back.
We'll
We'll do it again
I was telling
sometime.
Brooks, and we'll give the viewers and listeners another update. So for 2025, we're gonna try to have 2 episodes a week every week with a potential. I'm I'm gonna have two. There's gonna be a chance of three. There's gonna be a series type thing going on that once once the first one comes out, I'll give everybody kind of the rundown of what that series is gonna look like. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, it lasts basically the whole year, if not longer, and we'll see where that goes. But yeah, so kind of look forward to at least 2 episodes a week.
Exercise 10-4 on that one.
Hell
I
yeah,
think
brother.
we should do a live a live podcast in the duck line on Saturday.
Maybe go on Instagram Live.
Yeah.
Get some content on Instagram Live.
Yeah, I don't think they'd be able to hear anything over Virgo's consistent whimpering. She's so
Oh
excited.
man, Tanner, tell the people where to find you on the socials,
Well,
Instagram.
you can find me on Instagram. My account's private, so if I don't know you, there's a good chance I'm not gonna accept it. I'm just kidding. Hold on, I gotta think. I think it's T underscore underscore Johnson underscore underscore. So
Lots of underscores.
yeah, I think. Well, it's a pretty common name. So somebody already beat me to one underscore, so I did too. Fuckers. Yeah, it's all right. It is what it
It's
is. But
tough.
yeah, I don't post a ton, but I might.
No.
Maybe I'll get some more boat content this year,
Yeah.
and we'll see how things roll.
Yeah.
I
So
I think
go
this
give
is going to be a
Tanner a
good.
follow on Instagram and. But you can follow me at Justin T. Mulvaney, or you can go to the Full Fletch Archery page at
Yeah,
underscore Full Fletch Archery. That's
yeah. What's on your head?
yeah, this is we showed it on last episode too.
God, Lord,
We got a new hat. We're gonna we're gonna try to get this in the works of for people to order. So, you know,
nice.
show some interest in the comment section if you guys like the swag. We got a couple other, I guess, prototypes that we'll sample out there, and we'll see what the people like and what we can maybe get some hats ordered.
Yeah. If you need a model, just let me know.
Yeah. Hey, you guys are gonna get your Christmas. You just gotta
Mm.
you gotta pick out your hat. I'll show you the different styles
I saw him
that
in
you
your
can pick.
garage.
Yeah. Well, we got ones with this and ones with the logo. So I'll send them to you guys and you guys can pick. That's my Christmas
Cool.
to you.
Willow,
There's
Willow really
Willow.
liked. She really liked this episode.
The zip.
She really liked this episode.
Yeah,
She's
yeah. She's
super
thrilled.
entertained. I
That's
should
a
have
good
named her
girl.
Shadow. I should have named her Shadow. She follows me around everywhere. The other two are in bed. They're like, see you
Yeah,
later, idiot.
it's bedtime, dude.
Yeah, she's like, man,
It is
Dad's working,
bedtime.
I'm working. Yeah, it is. I don't know what time it is, but yeah, it's
8:30.
8:30. Time to go to sleepy
We'll wrap
time.
her up. Give everybody a follow, like, comment, subscribe, all the good things.
Yeah, give me a follow, please. I'm dying
Yeah.
for followers.
He's not going to accept you, but that's okay.
No, I might.
We'll
All
see.
right, y'all. We'll see you
All
on
right.
the next one.
Yep. Thanks for listening. See ya.